There's a question people treat like harmless small talk. Are you a cat person or a dog person? It sounds casual, almost playful. But watch how quickly people answer, how confidently, how personally, because that question doesn't land like a preference. It lands like recognition. Most people don't realize this, but the animal you feel drawn to is rarely about pets. It's about temperament, emotional wiring, boundaries, how your nervous system handles closeness, unpredictability, loyalty, and control. Psychologists have noticed something strange and consistent across cultures and studies. When people choose cats or dogs, they aren't choosing randomly. They are choosing what feels safe, what feels familiar, what feels like home to their inner world. And once you understand why, the choice you've been making your whole life suddenly stops feeling trivial. This isn't about which animal is better. It's about what kind of connection your mind trusts. Psychological attraction, not preference. Before adoption papers, before food bowls, before fur on your clothes, it begins with attraction, not romantic attraction. Psychological attraction. You don't walk into a shelter and rationally compare species like products. Your nervous system responds first. One animal feels right in your body before your mind explains why. Some people feel immediately relaxed around dogs. The openness, the enthusiasm, the emotional clarity. Nothing hidden, nothing withheld. Others feel overwhelmed by that same energy. They find calm in the quiet presence of a cat, the independence, the subtlety, the way affection is offered, not demanded. This isn't coincidence. Your mind is drawn to the creature whose rhythm matches your own. You aren't choosing an animal. You're choosing a relationship style that feels natural to your nervous system. 2. Nervous systems. 2 emotional climates. Psychologically, dog lovers and cat lovers tend to live in very different emotional climates. People drawn to dogs often feel comfortable in environments where emotions are visible and shared openly. Dogs communicate clearly. Excitement looks like excitement. Loyalty looks like loyalty. Discomfort is obvious. For many dog lovers, this emotional transparency feels grounding. They don't want to decode. They don't want to guess. They prefer connection that is direct and reliable. Cat lovers tend to feel comfortable in emotional nuance. Cats rarely announce their feelings loudly. Affection is subtle. Boundaries matter. Signals are small but meaningful. This appeals to people whose inner world is already active, people who notice micro changes, people who don't need constant reassurance to feel connected. One nervous system finds safety in clarity. The other finds safety in autonomy. Neither is better. They are simply calibrated differently. What personality research keeps revealing. When psychologists study large groups, patterns emerge that are too consistent to ignore. Dog lovers tend to score higher on traits related to sociability, warmth, and outward engagement. They often gain energy from people. They tend to see relationships as something to maintain actively and consistently. Cat lovers, on average, score higher on traits linked to introspection, sensitivity, and openness. Their inner world is more active. They tolerate ambiguity. They question assumptions. They don't need constant social feedback to feel anchored. This doesn't mean dog lovers lack depth or cat lovers dislike people. These are tendencies, not boxes, but they reveal where people feel most at ease. Dog lovers often describe themselves as people. Cat lovers often describe themselves as comfortable alone. And that difference alone explains why each group feels misunderstood by the other. How each animal mirrors your relationship with closeness. Dogs offer unconditional presence. They attach quickly. They follow. They stay close. They don't require emotional distance to feel safe. This resonates deeply with people who value loyalty, consistency, and shared emotional space. Many dog lovers feel fulfilled when they are needed. They feel stable when roles are clear. They are often dependable, forgiving, and willing to invest emotionally without hesitation. Cats offer conditional closeness. They approach when they choose to. They withdraw when they need space. They don't negotiate their boundaries. This resonates with people who learned early that closeness can become overwhelming if it isn't chosen carefully. Cat lovers often value independence not because they dislike intimacy, but because they understand its cost. A cat doesn't demand emotional labor. A dog doesn't withhold affection. Each reflects a different truth about how people connect. The childhood layer. Few people talk about. These preferences rarely appear in a vacuum. Dog lovers often grew up in environments where harmony mattered, where being reliable, helpful, or emotionally available was rewarded. Loyalty became part of identity. Dogs reinforce that sense of purpose. Cat lovers often grew up learning to self-regulate, maybe because emotions around them were unpredictable, maybe because they learned early that not everyone handles vulnerability well. Independence became safety. Cats mirror that respect for space. This isn't about trauma alone. It's about adaptation. Your animal preference often reflects the role you learn to play early in life. Boundaries, control, and emotional labor. Dog relationships involve shared responsibility. Walks, schedules, training, consistency. This structure suits people who feel comfortable managing and being managed emotionally. Cat relationships involve coexistence. You don't control a cat, you negotiate with it. This suits people who value mutual autonomy and minimal emotional obligation. Psychologically, this reveals something important. Dog lovers often handle emotional labor externally. Cat lovers often handle it internally. One group stabilizes through interaction. The other stabilizes through observation. Intelligence, creativity, and the inner world. Multiple studies have found that cat lovers are more likely to gravitate toward abstract thinking, creativity, and non-traditional ideas. They are comfortable questioning systems and existing outside consensus. Dog lovers often display grounded intelligence, practical thinking, persistence, a preference for structure over speculation. This difference shows up in how each group spends time. Dog lovers often build lives around shared routines and collective activity. Cat lovers often build lives around independent work and mental exploration. Again, neither is superior. They are simply optimized for different environments. How your pet doesn't just reflect you, but shapes you. Here's the part most people miss. Your pet doesn't just match your psychology, it reinforces it. Dogs pull people into routine, movement, and social engagement. Over time, dog lovers often become more structured, more physically active, and more externally regulated. Cats pull people inward. They reward patience, subtlety, and attentiveness. Over time, cat lovers often become more observant, introspective, and emotionally nuanced. The animal trains the human as much as the human trains the animal. The misunderstanding between cat and dog people. Dog lovers often see cat lovers as distant, guarded, or emotionally unavailable. Cat lovers often see dog lovers as overwhelming, needy, or emotionally loud. Both are misreads. What's actually happening is a clash of nervous systems. Each group assumes the other's comfort zone should feel natural to everyone. But comfort isn't universal. It's personal. The animal was never the point. Your preference was never about fur or paws. It was about safety, about how closeness feels in your body, about whether connection energizes you or drains you, about how much space your nervous system needs to stay regulated. So when someone asks if you're a cat person or a dog person, understand what they're really asking. How do you attach? How do you trust? How do you feel at home with another being? Your answer isn't random. It's a quiet confession about how your mind moves through the world. And once you see that, the question stops being small talk. It becomes self-awareness.